So hello and welcome back to These Coins and Banknotes. And well, you've clicked on this video because you want to know what coins you can actually find in the New Zealand pre-decimal currency that was issued under Queen Elizabeth II. So this is going to be an extensive video. I will be going through each denomination, what coin dates you need to look for, and also, well, some basic values. Although the values do change with the time period and also the country you're in. So let's get on. So all these coins have the same front of the coin. So the front of the coin, or the obverse, has Elizabeth II, and this is the Mary Gillick. So there is no difference between any denomination. They're all same in this regard. So on this side, it doesn't change the actual value of the coin, unless there is different number of those little dots going around, which I have not read of any. Okay, so there is 7 denominations, which is a bit different to the current New Zealand dollar, which has, so these are it, pretty, not that interesting anyway, which has 5 coins, so the 10, 20, 50 cent, 1 and $2. This one we have the half penny, 1 penny, 3pence, 6pence, 1 shilling, the florin, which is 2 shillings, and the half crown, which is 2.5 shillings. So this is the highest coin that was in circulation in 1967 when they changed over. And the value to today's currency, well, 1 New Zealand pound, 1 New Zealand pound is equivalent to 20 shillings, so or 10 florins, and each shilling is equivalent to 12 pennies. So the buying power of £1 is $50 in today's currency, and that's New Zealand dollars. So this one is 1/10, so it's equivalent to about $5 today. $2.50, $1.25. That will be 65 cents roughly. So this one's roughly about 40 cents. So round it up, 50 cents, 25 cents. So as you can see, the reason why they removed the 1 and 2 and 5 cent coin, because they're pretty worthless. Okay, so the half penny is 5.6 grams of bronze. It's 25.4 millimeters. And what it depicts is a hei tiki, and that's the Maori protective amulet. So this one was minted for quite a long period, from 1953, and has a high mintage for a lot of coins. The key date you want is 1953 for 727,000. You're probably starting about $5 for that. The 1954 and 55 each have 240,000, so they're the key dates. You're probably starting at least $10 for low grade ones for those ones. Okay, these ones, 56, 1.2 million, 57, 1.44 million, 58, 1.92 million, so they're pretty common. And the one that we have here, so the earliest date I have is 1959, so this one's uncirculated, probably about $5 to $10 for this one. It has 1.92 million, and you can actually get it in this grade, although this one looks like it might be slightly rotated, so probably at least $20 for that. And here we have another one. So you can see these two are both in pretty high grade. So although this one has toning, so that's pretty minimum for the actual coin. If I was to keep any of these coins, it would be this coin. Okay, then we have 1960, 2.4 million, 61, 2.88, 62, 2.88. So this one here is 62. And all these pretty much have the same value. So really, in this condition, probably about $5. And as you can see, it's pretty uncirculated. So these coins probably, because of the value, didn't circulate that well, and because of the high mintage, were not required. Okay, then 1963 for 1.68 million, 64, 2.88 million. Same price as this one. And the 1965, 5.2 million. In uncirculated grade, you can probably buy it for less than $5. A lot of those would not be an issue because of the changeover. So that's that coin. And here we have the 1965, so this is the highest denomination with Queen Elizabeth issued. And this one you can also find for mule that has the reverse, so they issued it with the obverse that's on Australia. So instead of having Queen Elizabeth II, it has the abbreviations on the actual coin. So that's what you'll be looking for in your 1965, and any of the coins, that one's going to be pretty expensive, probably a few $100s if you find one of those. So that's what you can find in your halfpenny coins. Okay, so the next denomination we have is the 1 penny, which has the toy bird on it. And that's a pretty common bird in New Zealand. It's a honey eater, and these were also minted in high numbers. So the 1 penny was 9.6 grams, 31 millimeters, and the key date is the one that I'm showing you now. So 1954 has a mintage of 1,080,000, and in this condition, it looks like it's probably almost uncirculated. Some people might grade it as uncirculated, but the value of that in this condition is roughly about $100. So that's what you're looking for. 1953 is 2.4 million, so really it has a lesser value, and that goes the same with all the other coins. Okay, 1954, 3.72 million. In this condition, you'll be paying about $1 or so. So pretty common. So what you're looking for is high grade coins like this one. That's probably still struggle to get $5 for a coin like that. Then we have 56, and that has a mintage of 3.6 million, so really the same value as the 55. In this condition you can get probably $5 or less. Another 56. As you can see, all these are in pretty good condition, so I'd suspect that a lot of them were never issued for circulation. And I get these in bulk a lot, so I don't really pick out these type of coins, but this one has verdigris, bronze disease, coin cancer, whatever you want to call it. So that one reduces value probably less than $1. 56, well circulated, and but still collectible. Then we have 57, has a mintage of 2.4 million. So that coin pretty much has the same value as the ones before, but it is a nice coin. This one seems to have mint luster, not really circulated, so almost uncirculated. 58, okay, this one has a high mintage of 10.8 million, and really it's only worth any money if it's uncirculated. So these have slight circulations, probably EF I would say, so really only like $2 or $3 if you want to buy one of those. Okay, then we go on to the next years. Okay, this one's another 1958. As you can see, it's got scratching, so that reduces value to almost nothing. And it's pretty circulated as well. 59 has a mintage of 8.4 million, so it's the same value as previously. Really looks like we have some type of, is that error? No, it's just damage on the head. But it doesn't look like damage. Oh, yeah, it's just damage, just scratch, so that's what you're not looking for. Okay, another 59. 1960, 7.2 million. So because this was a large coin, it's also the most common, highest minted. So, and as you can see, all these are pretty much EF and above. So they do have some value above $1, unless it's damage, as I said before. And 1961, 7.2 million again. A lot more wear on that one. 61. Yeah, so as you can see, you can get these pretty easily in pretty good grade. 62. This says 6 million. And this one's uncirculated, so it has not seen any wear. Then we have 63, 2.4 million. So that one you uncirculated, probably $5 to $10. And then we have Yeah, so this one's probably 5 to 10. I'd say 5. 1964. So this one has 18 million. And with 18 million, really, the only coins that you should be looking for are these ones in circulated, because by the changeover, these will probably, a lot of them will probably not issue for circulation because they were just kept just in case they needed them. So that's the 1 penny. So I hope that helps you with your coins. So the only key date you need for that one is the 1954 and any type of errors that you can find. Okay, the only major change in 1956 was the strap. So here's the strap there. It's put on 1956. Some coins denominations 1957. So those 2 years, you need to look for one without the strap, one with the strap. So that occurs 1956 and 57, but it does depend on the denomination. On the penny, it occurs on the 1956. On the threepence, 1957 and 56. Okay, now the threepence. So this is the smallest coin you're going to get. So it is one you're probably most likely going to find if you metal detect. They being precious metal, it's going to create corrosion, and you'll probably find it a lot like this. This is Spanish Austrian coin from 1800s, free Kreutzer, well circulated. So really, or even look like this. If you find like that, yeah, you can probably keep it, but as you can see, no one's going to buy this 10 Reichspfennig from Germany because it's just not in a good condition. So really, it's just good to take around and actually show people. Okay, so this coin is 1.4 grams, 16.3 millimeters in diameter. And once again, these straps, as I've said before, are the same. And also the bead numbers correspond to the strap. So the earlier ones without the strap have 88 beads. Ones with the strap have 86, but if you want to count them. Maybe they do overlap. And also, now with the, so we've got 53 and 56, we have a strap, and the actual cross goes in between the dots. Without the strap, the cross hits a dot. So that's how you can also tell how many. So this has 88, and this has 86 dots. And okay, we'll look at the 54. So all of these are pretty much uncirculated. So this is what you want to get these coins as. And this one is a mintage of 4 million, so pretty common. So you're probably paying about $5 in uncirculated grade. And just remember to check for the actual cross. Okay, then we have 54, same mintage. So really all you're looking for is whether the cross goes in between or hits a dot. That one hits a dot. And this one is the Mary Gillick effigy. Also check to make sure that this is actually not a mule with a UK coin. And this has a little war implement, a patu. So it's a short club and pretty powerful. And then we have the next coin, 56. And the mintage for 55 is also 4 million, so it's the same as the rest. 56, 4.8 million, so really the coin price is the same as before. So we just check that one. Then we have 57, 8 million, so the mintage is doubled, so really the value should be a lot less. And looks like the cross hits the actual dot. But we compare it with the 56 and look at that. Yeah, so that is probably a difference in the actual denticles. So it looks like 57 also has the strap, so it has its own variety as well. So I need to look that up. So luckily I've got two 57s, so we can actually check it against each other. And it looks like they're pretty much the same. So they nearly hit the dot, but not quite, which is a bit strange. Maybe that one actually hits the dot, and also the cross is a bit different in the actual fonts. Maybe check it against the 1965. And that one actually hits the dot, so maybe there's a different number of dots as well on these ones. Okay, come on, look at it. There's 86, 87, 88 beads, so that accounts for why that one hits in between the bead and the actual gap. Okay, so we're continuing on. Okay, 58, 59 has 4 million, 60, 4 million. Okay, so all of these coins are common. So 1962, 6 million, 63, 4 million, 64, 6.4 million, and 65, 4.2 million. So really, it shouldn't be hard to get any of these coins in uncirculated grade like this. And personally, that's the only coin, oh, got some water on it, that I would actually purchase myself for a collection. But yeah, probably about $1 or $2 if you want it in very fine grade. Now, as for the sixpence, it's 2.83 grams, 19.3 millimeters in diameter, copper nickel. It has a Hoya bird, so it's an extinct bird that used to inhabit the east half of the North Island of the actual country, and is a wattle bird, so it's like a type of honey eater. And I think it became extinct in 1920. Okay, but all these coins are pretty common. So we have 1953 with 1.2 million, 54 with 1.2, 55, 1.6, 56, that one's a 58, with 2 million, so in this condition, really just a space filler, although it's probably extremely fine. Then we have 57, 2.4 million, 58, which is this coin, is 3 million, 59, 1.2 million, 60, 1.6 million, 61, and 63 with 800,000. So they're the key dates, although 800,000 not too scarce. That will be the highest value of the actual lot. Although the coin catalogues don't say that. They say that the 1957 no strap, I don't have any 1957, is the key date that you want. So 1957 for a strap, yeah, pretty common. No strap, so obviously they changed during that year. Or maybe they just used one die. So then we have 1952, 1.2 million. 954, just this coin, has 3.8 million. And the highest vintage is 1965 with 6.5 million. So that's the lowest value. And really, unless it's a no strap, it's going to be worth pretty much $5 or less. There is another error for 1965. So you got this wing here. There is I would say an oil stroke in which all these lines are obliterated, and they call that a broken wing. That one, if you want it, doesn't seem to be too scarce, but it's probably worth at least $20 in this condition. So these ones don't have that. And with 8 million for these coins, this one is going to be the most common you're going to get. Probably also one you can get it in high grade and uncirculated condition. Although these are seeing some slight, this one has a scratch on it, so really that reduces the value. Also got damage on the side, so it obliterates any value it had. So really, I just keep this one. So that's the actual sixpence that you need to find in your change. And really, for most of them, this is a condition you should be looking for. So this is uncirculated, although it does have toning. So over the long time period, these are going to tone because they're copper and nickel. And copper doesn't like to stay in its normal state. Nickel lasts a bit longer, but over time, these are all going to go bang. And this is KG note for the actual designer. and that's Kruger Grey. He also designed Australia's pre-decimal coins as well. Okay, now the 1 shilling with the crouched Maori holding a teihaha, so the staff weapon in his hand, and this is a 5.64, 23.62 millimeter coin. So this one does contain a few low mint coins. So 1953 is 207,000, 1954. There is proofs made, but none issued for circulation. So look for those. And 1955, 200,000. So all of those coins would actually, in these conditions that you see here, so EF, you're probably talking about $20 for, that's in this condition. And no, this one's probably VF. So that 1, 4, 53 and 55 would be probably about at least $10. So I do have two 1955s, 200,000, and this one's probably in VF condition. Look at the actual, VF condition. You see it's probably talking about $5 for this one in these conditions. 200,000 is just not low enough to actually command a higher price. So that one is probably EF nearly, so probably about $15. So that's what you need to be looking for. Then we have, so this 1956 is in, let's say VF in Australia. In America will be EF, and that one probably about $5. Okay, and I made a mistake before. These ones are probably about $20 in this condition because of the low mintage of 200,000. Here we have another 1956. Then we have 1957. So this one's almost uncirculated, and it has a mintage of 800,000. So the same as the 956, 800,000. So at least $30 to $40 for that one in this condition. And also we have this one. This is VF condition. And that one, probably about $5 as well. Not a hard coin to get, but it's hard to get in higher grades, as you can see with this one. Then we have the next mintage, which is 1958, 1 million, so that's pretty common in pretty much extremely fine. You'll be paying $5. This 1959 is 600,000, so 600,000 is one of the lower minted, so which you're going to be paying probably in this condition probably $10 to $20, and this one is almost uncirculated, although it could be classed as EF depending on what you are actually grading it as yourself. 1960 has the same 600,000, so it should grade the actual same price as 1959. 1961, 400,000. So this one is EF condition according to me. So if you're looking at this one, probably about $10 to $20. So that's one, that's what you should be looking for. So the 60s coins, what you should be looking for is pretty much coins in EF or uncirculated. And also we're going to have a look at the actual errors by the end of the video. So 1962 has a mintage of 1 million, so that's pretty much a low value coin. Then we have 1963 with 600,000, so the actual price is the same as the 1960. Now in this condition you'll be paying $5. In EF probably about 10 to 20, and it goes higher. Okay, 1964 is a mintage of 3.4 million, so really in this condition only a few bucks, probably about $5 if they're uncirculated. Then we have 1965 with 3.5 million, so it says the same. But this one, what you need to look for is the broken back. So there is a die fill somewhere here, and it looks like the back is broken. These ones don't have it, but you can find an example on Numistar, which shows you the actual broken back. It's a bit hard to actually distinguish. All it is that this dye just feeds into the actual background, so you can actually distinguish it quite readily. And you can also find that in 1958 coins. So I would say just check every coin to see if it has a broken back, but I don't think any of these do. And also there is another one in which you have no horizon, and that occurs on the 1962 coin, which I don't have. So you can see that there is a horizon there between the 9 and his foot. On the 1962, that's disappeared, so obviously either they didn't engrave it, or there's been a dye fill in which this part's been filled in, so it looks like it's just flat. So basically that's what you need to look for on your coins, as well as the earlier coins. So we have 1950, this one's 1965. So we have the strap on the 1965, no strap, and also this one, it looks like the dots are all the same number, so maybe you need to check to make sure the actual cross goes to the dot. Okay, that one looks like it goes in between, so it's probably 87, it's probably 88. So it looks like there are some varieties. 88 as well. It's pretty easy to pick all this stuff up. Okay, so 88. That one goes in between, looks like it, so probably 86, 87. And talk about number, there, that one goes in between. So obviously there is a different number in the actual number of dots that go around the actual side of the coin. So let me know if you've actually counted them, because I'm not. Okay, so the next denomination is the florin, or 2 shilling, and this one was not minted in all the actual years. So there is 1953, which I don't have. That's 250,000, and that's one of the key dates. And if you get that coin, you know, in uncirculated, probably $30 or $40. Okay, the next date is 1961, which I have here, and it has a mintage of 1.5 million, and a lot of these coins have the kiwi on them. And what you're looking for is, well, pretty much coins in this condition. So this is uncirculated. And 1961, yeah, pretty common, although I've only got the one coin. And then we have the next date, which is 1962, also 1.5 million, and in this condition about $20. So really in this condition only probably about $2. So what you need to look for is really just errors and any coins in this condition. Then we have 1963, which I don't have, but it has a mintage of 100,000, so that's the key date. And if you wanted a 1963, you would be paying, it says the price is lower than 1953, so I have no idea why that is. Probably because it's older and a lot less of them actually survived in higher grade. Yeah, so probably about, yeah, at least $30 or $40 in uncirculated grade. Okay, this one, 1964, 2 million. So in uncirculated grade, you can pick them up for at least $10. And this is the condition that you want them. So that's the condition that you wanted in your collection. These ones are probably they're just space fillers, even though a lot of these did survive in higher grades. So as you can see, both of these are almost uncirculated. And then we have 1965 with 9,450,000. So an uncirculated talks about $5. So as you can see, we've got quite a few of these coins, and all of them are circulated. And I wouldn't be surprised if uncirculated comes from mint rolls that were never issued for circulation, because they would have minted these in 1966 and they would have kept them in reserve just in case either the decimalisation had a problem with the actual coins, or there's just an influx in demand. So that's the actual 1 shilling or 1 florin coin. Now all these are under $1 million. The coin catalogue said it in EF condition. You can pick these up on S62 for $2.40. Nah, I don't think you're going to pick these up even in very fine condition for less than $10. It's just the way the market is now. So online coin catalogues are a bit hit and miss in the actual values. Okay, the first date we have is 1953, and these follow the florin, in which this is the only coin minted in 1953 for the extra 50s. There's 120,000, and in this condition, which is VF, I would say it's at least $10. Probably even a bit higher, maybe 20 or 30. But if you wanted an uncirculated one like this, you'll be paying at least $50 for one of these coins. So that one is part of my actual coin collection. Then we have 1961, 80,000. So that's the key date. 1961, 80,000. In this condition, I'd say at least $30 or $40. But in this condition, you're probably paying at least good $80, $90 because the actual grade is actually quite good and the mintage is low. So this 1962's 600,000, and in this condition, at least $20 to $30. So you can see, because of the high denomination, probably not as many of them survived as the 1 penny. So they are in demand. Okay, 1963, 400,000. So what you will be paying is probably in this condition, yeah, probably at least 20. 1965, 200,000. So that's a bit strange, because they weren't changing over this coin to another denomination like a 25 cent. Obviously, they allowed it to pretty much die, and they didn't need to actually mint as many coins. And this one seems to, is that an error? It looks like it's a little bit ground down, or it could be just what's left of a clip planchet, because it doesn't look like anyone's tampered with that. Anyway, so this is the grade that you want to get, and this has the coat of arms of New Zealand. Now the last coin that wasn't issued for circulation is this crown, and this crown is actually 28.28 grams, 38.61 millimeters. Crown was never issued for circulation in New Zealand, and this commemorates the ascension of Queen Elizabeth II to the crown in 1953, and is designed by Robert Maurice Conley, and it has Maori design underneath ER. And on the other side, so this is the front of the coin, we have the Mary Gillick portrait, so it's the same as all the rest. And this one has a mintage of 250,000. So these, you can pick them up for about $40 in uncirculated grade, because they never went into circulation. All of them should be extremely fine if people have been playing with them, part of the collection, or even higher. So that's the bonus coin you can get with this coin series. So that is it. These are all the coins, what you should be looking for. And obviously there is no major errors with the 1 penny, as well as, not 1 penny, with the florin and the crown, because of the limited mintage that they actually produced. But let me know which is your favourite coin. Thank you very much. Have an awesome coin and banknote collecting time, and take care.